Hello everyone, I'm Darlene Young from Arlington, and I'm here to welcome you to another segment in our program series, Mindful Health Alternatives, that appears here on CAT TV monthly on Channel 15. I'm the outreach coordinator here at CAT TV, and I also have this program that I like to bring to you on a monthly basis with different ideas with a goal of having us learn how to stress less in our lives. So our guests today are from the Bennington Belly Tribal Belly Dancers, a group of women from the Sisters of the Shawl that practice the art of belly dancing here in Bennington. I have Jules, I have Bethany, I have Christina, and I have Kathleen with me here today. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you. Now, you as the audience are probably saying to yourself, why is Darlene bringing the belly dancers to Mindful Health Alternatives? Well, let me tell you, a couple of months ago, we had Tracy Martin Purdy come down from the Bennington Project Independence with a couple of senior citizens, and they showed us some exercise, and everybody enjoyed it, and especially the senior citizens and Tracy. So today, we've got the group here, and they're going to show us about belly dancing, which in itself is energetic exercise, and most people that exercise can relax, lose themselves while they're exercising if they really like what they're doing, and sometimes they don't even feel like it is an exercise. So that's why the ladies are here. So let's talk about belly dancing. How did you get, Kathleen, excuse me.
Okay.
How did you get started?
I actually was living in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I decided that this troupe, Fat Chance Belly Dance, sounded really interesting. I was considerably heavier at the time and thought, okay, Fat Chance, I'll give him a chance. Mm-hmm. And I went to a class and started learning this American tribal style belly dance with Carolina Enriquio, who is the founder of the style and the form, and just fell in love with it because for me, I've danced all my life, but I'm terrible at choreography. Mm-hmm. And the beauty of American tribal style belly dance is it's not choreographed. In its purest form, it's group improvisational. So that means I can just sort of relax and get in the moment and dance. And that for me, that was it.
So you hear the music and you just improvise the way you want to and the way you interpret the music.
Mm-hmm. Now we stay within a vocabulary of moves, mm-hmm. but we can all get on each other's vibe once we know the language, and it's just, to me, it's just takes you right out of your head and you can just go and play.
Great. That's very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Christina, how did you get started?
I was looking for some kind of exercise,
mm-hmm.
and I love to dance, and I was looking for something that was not tap or jazz or anything
mm-hmm.
like that, and I happened to see an article in the newspaper, so I called, and I came to Bennington one afternoon, and these guys were they had a photo shoot, and they were all dressed up, and I was like, oh, I definitely have to try this.
Good for you. Mm-hmm. And Bethany, how did you get started?
Similar to Christina, I had seen an ad in the paper for a performance that they were doing at the cafe in Bennington. Okay. And I'd been looking for a dance form to pick up. I'd done a bunch of different things growing up, and most recently had done some ballroom, but was looking for something a little bit different. The article intrigued me, so I went and watched them perform. The very next week I started taking classes, and I never stopped.
That's very good. And Jules, how did you start?
I danced when I was younger too,
mm-hmm.
and then it was sad that the only time I could dance was when I got a wedding invitation.
Oh.
And so I had a bucket list of things that I wanted to do
mm-hmm.
in my 30s, and belly dance was one of them. And I said out loud at a women's meeting, now I just have to learn how to belly dance. And they said, well, it's in Bennington. Mm-hmm. And I said, wow. So I went and been doing it ever since.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Now, do you all make your own outfits, or do you purchase them, or what happens?
It's a mix of everything.
Is it?
Yeah, there are a bunch of websites out there with costuming, and so we have purchased stuff.
Okay.
But we're pretty creative, and we can sew, and we make a lot of things ourselves as well. And tag sales and thrift shops are great. Great opportunities, too, especially for things like jewelry and odds and ends.
That's great. Now, you wear like long skirts, but Kathleen, before we started, you mentioned a name that is it the shirt that
The top that we wear is based off of an Indian top called a choli.
the choli.
And so it's open back, and it can be long, medium, or no sleeves, depending, and it just ties on. And it's very, it's supportive, yet you can move in it pretty freely, so that tends to be the standard top that we wear.
Good. Now, like with your hair and like earrings and jewelry, I mean, is there a certain amount that you have to wear, or does everybody just dress themselves?
We're
or-
laughing because we have a phrase that more is more.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. So the kind of aesthetic is you have a basic idea. For example, today we decided that we were going to go with a color palette, and then we just put on what we think makes us look good out of our enormous stacks of bits and pieces and odds and ends.
And something else that I was really dumbfounded about was that the gals said that it can take up to 2 hours to prepare, to get dressed and to prepare for, like a session like this.
For performance, yeah. Yeah.
And also when they go to class, the classes are held like once a week, is it? Okay. You wear like skirts and leggings. I mean, you don't show up to like your classes in your full regalia.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not enough time in the day, and it's if you're gonna practice for a couple of hours and drill, it's really not that comfortable. This is more a performance look.
Okay. Now, each of the ladies has finger symbols with them. I made the mistake of calling them castanets. It's like it's been a while. So, would you like to explain those a little bit?
Sure. So one of the things that is characteristic of American tribal style is, in addition to dancing, we play a rhythmic instrument during fast songs, and sometimes during slow songs, while we dance. So on top of dancing, we're also usually carrying a rhythm with our hands, and our name, Bennington Melody, is in fact also a rhythm, which goes like this. Which we don't play as often as we do a more basic rhythm, but it adds one more layer of. It seems to be horrifically complicated at one point in your training, and then you realize you aren't thinking about it anymore, and it's just happening. So
Now, do each of you teach, or do you have just like one teacher that teaches all of you, or how does that work? If somebody was interested in coming to a class.
We all teach.
We all teach.
Yeah. Christina and I recently got certified by Fat Chance Belly Dance and Caroline Enriquio to be certified ATS, American Tribal Style teachers.
Okay.
And we're able to extend that to our troupe as a sister studio of Fat Chance Belly Dance.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
we all teach. We all take turns teaching.
Okay. Now, if I noticed on your website, I think that you have like 3 different levels. You have beginner, intermediate, and the great ones. Now, if saying a friend of mine, because I probably would throw my hip out or my knee out or something like that, but saying a friend of mine wanted to come in and like start on the entry level, what would she? And do you have any men in the group?
We don't have any men in the group.
Okay.
There are men who dance American Tribal Style
Okay.
in the world.
Okay.
It was designed as a dance
For women.
for women in ATS, but men pick it up and do it. We've never had a man come and want to learn it. There is such a thing as male style belly dance and classic belly dance, and
Really?
we don't know how to teach any of that. So
Okay.
all we'd be able to do is teach American Tribal Style.
Okay.
And then do you want to take on what a new student would find? Christina, you want to take on what a new student would find if you came in?
Generally, coming in as a new student, we would explain what American Tribal Style is, just a brief synopsis of what it is, and then they would start learning the vocabulary of moves. We would start with the very basic of moves. Like the first week we might cover Taksim, which is one of the most common moves in the slow section, and then we'd pick something from fast and they would learn that.
Okay.
So they would learn in a step step by step.
Right,
with
we have
6-week
we have a
sessions.
6-week session
Okay.
for beginners,
Mhm.
and then we have a 12-week session for the advanced dancers.
Oh, that's good.
And so, if everybody takes the beginner class, and then if you're in advanced, you stay a little bit later.
Okay.
And when people move up, it's when they feel comfortable doing the little
Mhm.
kind of foundation moves.
Good. Now, how many women or people do you have in your groups?
It varies.
Okay.
In the last year, we've had about 30 odd women come and go. We don't tend to have that many in a given class. It tends to be somewhere in the anywhere from as few as 4, depending on the weather, to as
Yeah.
many as we've had a dozen or more in the room. And it's just kind of, it's tough for people to carve out the time in their lives. And we just, my statement to people who say, "Oh, I wish I could come more," is we're here. When
Right.
you're ready to
Yeah.
come back,
Right.
when you find time, when you have whatever, come back. We'll
Sure.
still be here. We'll still be doing this.
But we do have 3 students that have been with us for a long time, and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
part of the student troupe,
Mhm.
and they come faithfully every week,
Oh, that's good.
and they stay for the advanced lessons,
Do they?
and they perform, and they perform by themselves, and they also perform with us.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
Now, if someone, like started as a beginner and they didn't want to, like dance and performances or something like
They
that,
don't
they can just use it as an exercise class? Okay.
Absolutely. We'll get them breathing hard by the end of the night.
Yeah.
And we have a survey so that when a student comes, we find out why did they come. So if we know it's somebody for exercise, then great. And then if it's somebody that wants to perform, then you just watch and see how they progress.
Good, very
Mhm.
good. Now, how long has the troupe been around?
Sisters of the Shawl has been around about 15 years.
15? Okay.
Bennington Bellady as an organization, Bennington Bellady is sort of an umbrella organization, has been around 10 years. We just had our 10th
Oh,
anniversary
wow.
last year, yeah.
Great.
And as a Saidi Sisters has been around about 10 years too. It was sort of about 10 years ago it kind of got big and we had to reorganize things.
Okay.
And then Fat Chance has been around probably
They celebrated
30,
25.
25, 30?
Wow.
I think it's
Yeah.
30, yeah.
I think it's 30.
We were
25,
talking
30.
before we went on camera. Belly dancing has been around for thousands of years,
Mhm.
and Kathleen brought to my attention. A lot of it wasn't recorded, and there's even pieces where women's history, is lacking. So, it has been around a long time.
Yeah. And the different sort of areas of the world where they have some version of belly dance tend to be around the Middle East and the Fertile Crescent, and every culture, every almost tribe has their dance tradition, and there are people who go around trying to preserve that, or they were in the 70s, there was a big push to try to record and preserve the classic steps and the meanings and the movements, because there was, with the modernization of the world, the older dancers weren't having younger students to pick it up. So there are people who are dance preservationists, but our style of dance is not from one country or one tradition. We, Carolina kind of took a lot of different moves from a lot of traditions. There's Indian steps, there's flamenco, there's a lot of Middle Eastern various belly dance moves, and sort of melded them together into this style that can be performed
Good.
without having to memorize exact numbers of counts and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
because that was my next question. Is it basically Middle Eastern dance, but you're saying that a little bit is taken from different cultures and it's all meshed together. So that's very good.
And that's the name, American tribal style. It's the melting pot thing that we
Yeah.
do here.
Oh,
Oh, we like that, and we like that, and we like that. Let's put
So
them
we'll
together.
just take it
Nail them
and-
together. We'll make something new.
That's
But
good.
what's great about it is that the style has spread all over the world, and the language of moves is the same, so that we could dance with someone from France or Taiwan or Australia, even if we've never danced with them before,
Right.
and we could dance together. And even if we didn't even speak the same language, we could dance, because the style itself has its own language.
Okay. I read someplace when I was in college that music is the universal language of all mankind, and it just seems to be that way. I forget who the author of that was, and but it was just I had to take an arts and therapy course, and I was doing some studying because my thing was using a 35 millimeter camera in music, and what I wanted to do was slides to go with like a Kenny G presentation, and I just ran across something, and it just always stuck with me. So I think it's really cool. So let's just talk for a couple more minutes, and then we'll get into your dancing, and you can teach people, like a couple of the moves that a beginning student would learn, if that's okay. What else can you tell me about belly dancing? I mean, if you had one thing to share with our audience, what would it be?
I think the one thing that I would share is that it's really critical that it's understood that this dance form is improvisational, because when you watch it done well, it looks like it's choreographed. And so there's, within any moment of the dance, there's a leader and there's followers, and the followers are just going off of very subtle body cues to know what move to do next. But the leader will change throughout the song as well, so everybody's taking different turns leading and following, and we're looking in, we're looking out, and when it's done really well, it's almost impossible to tell
And
that it's
like
improvisational.
It's all like in sync.
It's in sync.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, this is great. Anybody else?
I think you covered what I was thinking.
Yeah, I would just say that it's fun. And the one comment we get occasionally, which always surprises me, but I'll have students say, "Oh, wow, it's so amazing to be in a group of women where you're not competing with them." And I'm like,
Right.
okay, sure, you're right. Because we have to, if we don't work together, we don't work together. So, and we always say, in the upper levels, when you're the leader, you're responsible for the other dancers. You have to take care of them. You have to make sure they know what you're going to do. You don't want to make them look bad to make you look good. It's not something we have to say a lot, but it is, we all look better together than we do when one person stands way out ahead. And it's so much fun, and yet for some women it's a unique experience to have that.
Yeah, it's a tribal, definitely
Yeah.
the tribal part of American tribal.
It sounds really neat. It really does. I've just got all these things running around in my head, and it's like, okay. Jules, did you want to share anything, or?
No, I mean, they covered everything, and what Kathleen said, when women take the class for the first time, they're just so surprised that we start with an opening meditation with our hands, and it has some meaning. And so we start off in a closed group, and we pay gratitude. And when they leave, they say thank you. It was an amazing experience.
Now, do you have something like, okay, I didn't even realize that you had like an opening circle where everybody could, speak, or, like come together as a group. When they leave, do you sort of like in energy and Reiki, you ground people when they're finished with the event. Now, do you have something to end the evening so that they all are, grounded?
Thank you very much for coming. You did a fabulous job. I hope you had fun.
Next class.
Next week.
Next class.
Okay. Now, I know that, do you have like any plus size women that come to the group?
Oh yeah. And
Yes.
I started and I still am, I always liked the costumer, Fat Chance costumer referred to me as goddess size, which I always thought was fun.
Yeah.
But large women, small
It's
women,
actually
every
easier
size.
to make things move.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had a student last week that said, I just can't make my body move. And I said, Bethany could probably share some tips, because Bethany's very fit and trim, and she can show you how to move your hips, where if we do it, it kind of just moves a little bit more on its own.
Yeah.
Well, I am so glad that you're here, and as we go on, if you think of anything else you'd like to share with everybody. I know that you're getting ready to do a fundraiser at the end of May for Meals on Wheels,
Yes.
and we'll be doing a PSA at some point in time. I hope this will play by then, but if it doesn't, we'll get you in here to do a PSA so you can tell the folks about the Meals on Wheels fundraiser event. I just want to say thank you for coming, and what we're going to do now is like close the show, and then we'll move the table out of the way and give you some room so that you can get your dancing feet on and get your music going, and we'll do that, okay?
Hi guys, so if you came to one of our lessons at Bennington Belly Tribal Belly Dance, we would start with a move called Taksim, which you might have seen us done. We're drawing a figure 8 with our hips. And it looks like it could be hard, but it's really not. I'm standing online waiting for my friend. She's taking forever. When is that bus gonna come? Hurry up, person. So I'm shifting my weight from leg to leg. So when I shift, I'm gonna bend my knee, scoop my hip up, drop. So I'm going up, drop, over, drop, up, drop, over. And so our hips are drawing a figure 8.
So I would like to show one of the first fast moves that you would learn in a class with us. And this one's called Egyptian. And first of all, what your feet are going to be doing is you're going to pick up your right foot just to the ball of your foot, and you're going to twist your right hip over and up to the corner, to the opposite corner, like this. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side, like this. And if you imagine that you're kind of using your hips to bounce a beach ball both ways, your hip is going to go this way and this way. So I'm bouncing a beach ball from side to side. And then your arms are going to be up overhead. You're going to be playing your zills eventually. But what you're going to do is every time your hip bounces the beach ball up to the corner, you're going to pull that shoulder back. It creates this nice long extension in that side of your body. So you're going to pull your arm back, pull your arm back, pull your arm back, pull your arm back. And when you get this just right, you get a nice little wiggle in there, and it is so much fun. This is one of my favorite moves.
La cocodrilla patrone frecavene in caca tresanando un cerco alve e cotremora la porta. La cocodrilla patrone frecavene in caca tresanando un cerco alve e cotremora la porta. Eu creio que l'amor d'amaro para foscoce far feste e t'entristisse la sala ci s'encara l'entrepire.
So if you're interested in taking American Tribal Style belly dance classes in Bennington, we meet every Thursday night in the Bennington Senior Center. And we are meeting for the first level class. It's 5:15 to 5:15 for about 50 minutes. And we run on a 6-week cycle. And if you check us out on our Facebook page, Bennington Bellady, or our website, www.benningtonbellady.com, you can see our list of courses and the week we're in, and you're welcome to come anytime.
And I'd like to thank all of our viewers again for tuning in to see our Mindful Health Alternative segment tonight with the Bennington Bellady Tribal Belly Dancers. And hope that you will come back next month to see us as well. Bye now.